catch, but some things you'll catch. So feel free to ask questions in between. Okay. So last time I think we had Achyut Mohan Prabhu who spoke a different topic, right? Benefits of practicing spiritual life. So now we'll continue with the Gita. Mm, okay. So after speaking about the necessity of controlling the mind in the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna goes on to tell. So Krishna, he speaks the importance of controlling the mind to attain perfection, Ashtanga Yoga, to which Arjuna he questions Krishna about the practicality of trying to control the mind. He says it's very difficult, unendurable, and impractical, controlling the mind. Hare Krishna. To which Krishna says, yes, it is true, but it is not impossible. And therefore, he says it is possible by two ways. What are the two ways? Practice abhyasa yoga, abhyasa and of practicing spiritually, that is Shri Krishna. So, what are those things what we are supposed to practice? What should we practice in specific? Chant. Chanting Hare Krishna we are supposed to practice. Anything else? What else? That's too broad. What in specific? What should we practice in specific? Remembering Krishna every task we do. Okay. Practice reading Prabhupada's books. That's what you we should practice reading Prabhupada's books. Shastra. And anything else? What are we supposed to practice? So yeah, so come we can come to temple regularly and engage in any type of seva, any type of service to Krishna and his devotees. Like Rohit Prabhu's engaging, cleaning the bulb, and also he brings these things. Why are we supposed to practice? Because the mind doesn't have a natural inclination. Mind's natural inclination is elsewhere. To watch TV, it has already practiced enough. You have nothing to do, automatically the mind goes towards watching TV. So you don't have to practice that. That you have to detach from. What else are we supposed to detach from? There's so many things. So detach from my phone. Overuse of social media. Then therefore I said detach from overuse of social media. Yes. Scientific dust, detach from scientific dust. What does that mean? It's correct. What do you mean? Yeah. Scientific dust means when we go through, um, when we graduate from education institutions, we develop faith towards modern science. And whatever they teach in modern science, not everything is true, isn't it? Many things are still research. Still, sometimes even in physics today, though we have studied about electrons, sometimes there's still research going on about probably an existence of some other particle than electron. At one point in time, they said everything is a boson particle. There's nothing called as electron proton. So it's an always on ongoing research. They can change it, isn't it? Sometimes when we go through the education institutions and when we keep hearing the what people keep speaking, then we feel whatever scientists say it is absolute truth, which is not true. At one point in time, what the scientists said, for example, what Thomson in chemistry, if you study, Thomson said the atom it looks like a watermelon with electrons just strewn across randomly, like water in seeds. Whereas that was defeated by Rutherford, is it? Or Niels Bohr. one of them, and later on other person came and refuted that and gave a better understanding of the atomic model. So it keeps changing. So scientific bust means sometimes we say, even without questioning, we have full faith that yes, science is correct, isn't it? So that's called scientific dust. So yeah, so we have to detach from that, isn't it? That's what you meant. Okay. Anything else? Detach from Maya. Okay. What is Maya? Okay. So you are referring to desires that will take you away from Krishna, or thoughts that are not Krishna conscious, or thoughts and desires that is pushing us into wrong direction. These things you have to detach from. Okay. Very good. So in this way, Krishna says that you have develop attachment to doing things that will take us or help us proceed in Krishna conscious direction, and detach from things that will make us cautious in Maya. These two things we have to practice. And this is how we control the mind. And after that, then Arjuna goes on to ask Krishna an important question. He says, my dear Krishna, this is all right, but what happens if I give and if I invest lot of effort, endeavor in making progress in spiritual direction? That means some amount of effort in material direction is compensated. I cannot put the same effort as I was putting before. So now I'm putting giving that for spiritual life. But at the end of life, if I don't attain perfection, neither here nor in material life, then what do I do? Isn't it? That means I'm practicing Krishna consciousness, but I cannot become a pure devotee this life. And nor did I, because I was practicing Krishna consciousness, there was some sacrifices made in material life because of which I could not become, I could not fulfill my ambitions in material life also. So na ghar ka na ghat ka, as they say. So what then? This is Arjuna's question. How many of you have this question? You, you know this question? Ask me. Discuss who actually has this question. Yeah. Some of us really have this question. So Arjuna's so to answer Arjuna's question now, Krishna answers from text 38, 38 to 39. Mm. Yeah, till 40, 45. Till 45, Krishna is talking about even if we practice Krishna consciousness for a small moment, it is recorded in your eternal bank account. Mm. So there are two bank accounts. One is called as eternal bank account, and one is a temporary bank account. Temporary bank account we all have opened. Bank of America, Capital One, Chase. These are all temporary bank accounts. You know why is it temporary?
That's only that's only for this lifetime.
Yeah, only for this life or till the time they don't close down. It's a temporary account. Eternal bank account. Eternal bank account goes on with the soul. Once you open it, it's never closed. And that means the returns is completely promising. So when whatever actions your living entity performs in this life, it is carried on even in next life, the spiritual actions. Whereas the material actions they don't go on with the soul. So did I show you once the Alexander the Great, his last three wishes at the time of his death? I show here. Okay, I'll show you a video. Just a minute. Hare Krishna. Mhm. The three last wishes when Alexander the Great was about to die. So slow. Yeah, I think I showed it in Friday program.
You talked about.
We talked about
The story goes that Alexander the Great made three wishes just before he died. I
it. You
have
can hear?
three wishes, he said. First, I want only my doctors to carry my coffin. Second, the road to the grave has to be covered with gold, silver, and precious stones. Third, my hands should be dangling out of the coffin. The generals were shocked at these strange wishes. We will fulfill your wishes, O king, but tell us, what is the meaning of these wishes? They asked. Alexander said, I want the doctors to carry my coffin to show to the world that in the face of death, even the best doctors are powerless. I want the road to be strewn with wealth to show that none of my wealth will come with me. I'm going to leave behind all the wealth I have worked so hard to get. And I want my hands to dangle so people know I came into this world empty handed. And that is how I will go.
Mhm. Guys, was it nice? Yeah. So what was the three wishes? Three wishes. Mm-hmm. Loudly, they cannot hear you. Mhm. Go. See, even Arjuna is great. If we have to put effort in this world, we are all putting efforts. But Krishna is giving direction to that effort. Krishna is saying, don't just put blind efforts. Don't just work hard. Even donkeys work hard, isn't it? So the only difference between us and donkey cannot be ears and tail. You see, we have to use our head to put effort in the right direction. And what is that effort? Krishna tells Arjuna that put efforts in that direction where it is counted. Invest in that account which is eternal. A sign of intelligence means a person thinks way ahead in future. Nowadays in India, IIT preparation starts from 5. You know that? 5th standard onwards, IIT preparation starts for students. Why? Because they know I want to try for IIT exam. You know IIT, right? You know IIT? Prabhu is from US, born here only. Doesn't know about IIT. So people prepare well beforehand for something, especially if it's very important. So devotees are way even even more intelligent because they are planning for the next life, not just next job, not just next education degree. They are planning for next life. Where do you want to be born in next life? Srila Prabhupada says the laws of material nature are very stringent. Stringent means they're very strict. It is not that they are merciful to some class. For example, for small children, in case they put their hand in a fire, will the fire feel compassion for the child? Poor child, he did not know. By mistake, hand in the fire. So I will not burn him. No. Laws of nature, anyway, isn't it? So similarly, our ignorance cannot be excuse. Our ignorance cannot be excuse means we cannot say I did not know. We have to suffer the laws of material nature. Hmm. So if we become careless and put our efforts in a direction where all what we do is taken away at the time of death, that means this life we are working very hard, undergrad, then grad, then PhD, then postdoctorate. We are gaining degrees after degrees, and then Hare Krishna. Yes, yes. We are gaining degree after degree, but at the time of death, we cannot keep it. Everything is stripped away from us. So next life, even if you have got postdoctorate, say in physics, next life, what will you start with? Baba Black Sheep, have you any wool? Yes, sir. Yes, sir. 3 bags full. You know the further poem? You never heard of this? Nursery nahi ki hai kya? Okay. Then I forgot. Yeah. So you see, then again you have to start. I mean, this is also provided you get a human body. If you get a dog's body, forget. You are not going to repeat anything. So whatever we work hard for, be it education, be it money, be it anything of this material world, we have to let go in this world. We cannot even take it to the next life. And therefore, Krishna is telling Arjuna that practicing spiritual life, it is not a loss because whatever you do, say on the way to temple, you also, there was some devotee, he needed a ride. So probably you picked him up in your car and you dropped him at the temple. It counts in your eternal bank account. A small service, everyone was busy eating. So another Prabhu wanted some refill for his prasadam. So you went and you served him. Counts. In material life, it doesn't count. In material life, whatever endeavor we put in material life, if you are not first, if you're not best, otherwise you're okay. And there are so many people who are okay. You're nothing extraordinary. You are best or you're nothing, in other words. In spiritual life, best is not only one position. You can be best, you can be best, you can be best. Everyone of us can be best in spiritual life. Why? Because everyone is completely, they have full potential to love Krishna. And therefore, whatever we are doing, if we add Krishna to the formula, immediately all our actions get counted. Whereas if Krishna is not in the formula, then whatever we do ends at the time of death. Hmm. So we'll go to the verse for today. Six 39. Yeah. 6:30 we did. Okay, we did. Okay. Kachinno bhaya vibrashtas vibrashtas chinna brahmiva nashyati अप्रतिष्ठो महाबाहो विमूढ़ो ब्रह्मणपति. One of you.
O mighty armed Krishna, does not such a man who is bewildered from the path of transcendence fall away from the both spiritual and material success and perish like a
Riven cloud.
riven cloud, with no position in any sphere?
Yeah. So if you put efforts in both the direction, trying to balance the two, then neither did you put full effort in material life, nor could you put full effort in spiritual life. So Arjuna's question is, while trying to balance the two, what if I'm nowhere? That's his question. Hare Krishna. And he gives an analogy of a river vanish. So similarly, Arjuna also has this tension. Can you read the purport? Mm, okay, I think we did the purport last time, so we'll just go ahead. Okay. एतन्मे चेदमर्हस्य शेषतः यस्यास्य चेतान्
This is my doubt, O Krishna, and I ask you to dispel it completely. But for you, no one is to be found who can destroy this doubt.
but for you, no one is to be found. See, so in the last few verses, we have seen Arjuna's qualification. Krishna, why did Krishna choose Arjuna amongst all people? I think Duryodhana needed to speak the Gita too. So why did Krishna choose Arjuna to speak the Gita too? Very good. Yes. Krishna in the fourth chapter beginning, he says, this mystery or deep wisdom of how this world works, of who is God, what is the purpose of life. This thing Arjuna is going to reveal it to you because you won't find it. That means if Krishna is telling his own glories, Arjuna won't. Arjuna, you are not envious of me. Duryodhana is completely envious of Krishna. Duryodhana was so envious of Krishna when Krishna revealed his Virata Rupa, a mini Virata Rupa in the palace of Dhritarashtra. Duryodhana, for a moment, he thought probably Krishna is God. But then he thought, no, no, he's just a magician, isn't it? So envious. In face of envy, what happens is we cannot see the glory of the other person. However great they may be, however shining example they might be for the entire world, we can find a fault in them. That means we are just envious. On the contrary, when there is love for the other person, even if there are faults, we can find a small one good quality and examine it. Examine as in magnify it. This is the contrast between envy and love. So Krishna told Arjuna, Arjuna, I'm speaking Gita knowledge to you because you're qualified. You're qualified with these qualities of that you're my devotee, you're my friend, and you're not envious of me. How many of us are envious of Krishna? I'm happy few of you know. Actually, we're all envious. The envy in this material world is actually the envy towards God. When we're envious of others, why is he earning a better salary? Why does this fellow have a job? I'm much more smarter than him. So envy means we also go walk the extra mile to pull someone down. And in pulling someone down, we become little happy, isn't it? Like you've seen that Three Idiots movie. Only one scene I remember now. Something happened, some exam results or something. They were looking at the rank, who passed, who failed, and they saw, oh, I passed, and the other guy also passed. And then they were saying, where's the other person? So they felt that the third person, he probably didn't make it, and they were very sad for him. But they didn't know he came first or something, isn't it? He came first. That I think made them even more sad, isn't it? So sometimes when we see our friends are doing better than us, we can call it a fluke, we can call it by luck, but we know we are actually smarter. And this is all the place of envy. In this material world, everyone is envious of the other person, and therefore that envy also takes a form of competition. We have to compete for survival because it's envy. Why? Because there's only one position, one place for being the best. The qualification of Arjuna is he was non-envious of Krishna. That means let Krishna enjoy, let me be part of his enjoyment. And what is envy? Why is Krishna enjoying with 16,108 queens? Basically saying, if Krishna can enjoy, I also should be able to enjoy. Krishna is dancing with gopis, I should be able to dance with my set of gopis. Isn't it? We say, no, no. Ram is Ekpatni Vat. But what about Krishna? Krishna is dancing. See, Arjuna never questioned it. This is a symptom of envy. Many of us cannot see it. And this envy towards God takes its envy towards other living entities. When you look at the world, we all have our own mannerisms, the way we behave, way we deal. Some people laugh on one cheek. You know that. Anything happen, they you might find it very irritating. Why is he laughing on one cheek? Laugh completely. Give a big smile. What is this one cheek smile? The entire is one side, isn't it? So that is also envious because we respect how this person behaves, and therefore we want to control the other person as to our likes. That is also envy, isn't it? Why is this person? Why does he have such a hairstyle? Why does he always look as if he's sleeping? So some people only have half eyes, right? Some people have big eyes. Eyes are bigger than their body. Bigger than the body means not in ratio, right? Ratio. It is bigger to actually what is supposed to be. So like this, we can find so many faults with all the living entities, and this is all considered to be envious. So imagine now we have a problem when someone is half half smiling, smiling on one cheek. And then we go to spiritual world and Krishna smiles on one cheek. That's where the real problem is. I don't like it, so you cannot do it. That's envy. So therefore, what happens? The material condition living entities they try to control. Hare Krishna. Hari. There's a place here. Yes, Prabhu. Give the mic. Give the mic. Yes, Prabhu.
My question is actually when you're talking about that because of competition or like envy is there, that's we want to compete and everything. But what about the idea and philosophy of expanding the table, making a bigger table for people who can, have multiple positions, we can be inspired and pull ourselves together. For example, in the business world, like, to
Collaborate.
actually collaborate. So how do we view that? Or is it just that this is a much broader propensity of envy, which is not sometimes reflected in this thought of
Yeah.
collaboration?
That collaboration is also is like I scratch your back, you scratch mine.
Yeah.
It's also for the purpose of sense gratification. So Prashil Prabhupada says envy leads to lust in some cases. Envy leads to the point of sense gratification, or sense gratification is the cause of envy. That means we cannot see Krishna enjoy. I am worried about my senses, and therefore, the desire for sense gratification leads to envy. That means sometimes we also collaborate, we also cooperate. Someone says like that, but we still tolerate. We don't, though we don't like the way he speaks, we still tolerate and don't say anything. Why? Because we see in the future this fellow will help me, so let me tolerate now.
So basically, then the idea is that the traceability of envy, so the traceability for envy goes even with collaboration. Then that at the foundational level, it's envy. We're doing it
Correct.
for the final purpose of sense
Yeah.
gratification.
Yeah.
Okay.
But if someone is going contradictory to their sense gratification for their purpose, will they collaborate?
Yeah.
No. So in this material world, collaboration is also very easy. We choose our friends. We cannot see Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam, the whole world as one family. We cannot see that just because they are only building friendship and building connections, seeing that this is what can facilitate my sense gratification. As soon as the other party goes against their desire for sense gratification, we'll cut off from them. Isn't it?
Yeah. Thanks.
So, and Shastra is full of such examples for envy. Any quick examples? Where have you seen envy in Shastra? Yes. Shishupal was envious of Krishna. He was so envious of Krishna that he could not stop, he could not control himself from blaspheming Krishna. He had shown Shishupal was one with what three hands and something like that. Three eyes and four hands, something like that. Very vikara, very different kind of child. And it is said when he was carried by a particular person, when his hands would go disappear, his extra hands, that means that person who's carrying him would be the cause of his death. So Shishupal has connection with Krishna. So in his childhood, when Krishna carried Shishupal, who was looking like a demon, so immediately his extra hands disappeared. And then the mother of Shishupal understood Krishna is going to be the cause of the death of Shishupal. At that time, the mother requested Krishna, please don't kill him. Krishna said, I'll give you a benediction. Till the time he doesn't blaspheme me 100, he doesn't give me 100 abuse at a stretch, till then I'll not do anything to him. I was thinking Shishupal could always go for until 99 and stop. Every day till 99 and stop. He was so envious of Krishna. Once in the Rajasuya Yajna, hmm, Rajasuya Yajna, Rajasuya Yajna. In Rajasuya Yajna, when you need a chief guest, and Yudhishthira appointed Krishna as the chief guest of honor. That means all the kings who come to that yajna, they all offer their offerings to Krishna, and they accept Krishna as the main, most important prime person, chief person of the entire assembly. Shishupal could not tolerate this. So when Krishna is getting so much respect, he began his abuse. First abuse, 20th abuse, 50th abuse, 75th, 89, 99. He could stop there and still be saved. Krishna would have done anything. And then he went for hundreds of views. See the power of envy. The power of envy, the anarthas can conquer the living entity, and sometimes we become subdued by them and become their puppets. And Shishupal, as soon as he spoke the 100th abuse, immediately the chakra flew from Krishna's hands and cut off the head of Shishupal. Very envious, isn't it? He was so envious he could not control himself from abusing Krishna. Similarly, you also have the example of, yeah, Poundrak. Yes, Poundrak was such a fool. I mean, of course, he was so envious of Krishna. He attached two fake arms and went to Dwarka and said, "This Krishna is actually an imposter. I am the real Krishna." I mean, what a joke. When Krishna heard this from his ministers that there is someone who has attached two arms, fake arms, and is claiming himself to be Krishna, what do you think he would have done? Huh? Okay, he grew many arms, okay. But first reaction, what was Krishna's first reaction? He just laughed. He just laughed uncontrollably. Krishna laughed, all his ministers, all his family members started laughing. They were all just laughing. Then Poundrak was not taken seriously, so Poundrak became angry. You can read this in the Krishna book. Again, Poundrak charged towards the palace of Krishna, and Krishna only sent his chakra or something. He just killed him so easily. See? Because of his envy, he made a big fool of himself, attaching two arms, claiming himself as Krishna. Crazy, huh? Very good example. And then, yes, Hiranyakashipu, the same example. Okay. Yes, Hiranyakashipu was also envious of Vishnu, that he could not accept the supremacy of Vishnu. He could not accept that Vishnu is greater than him, and therefore envy blinded him to think that he is superior to Vishnu. So much so that when Narasimha appeared, it is said, we say, no, Tavakara Kamalavare Nakamadbhuta Shringam Narasimhadeva. How huge Narasimhadev was. Hiranyakashipu was like a wasp. Because of his envy, he thought, still I have a chance to defeat Narasimhadev. You see? That is also envy. You just cannot see, even in the bright sunshine, you cannot see that this person he's more glorious, he has so many good qualities. Why? Envy blinds a person. Dhritarashtra was also blinded to the good qualities of Pandavas. Duryodhana was blinded to think that Pandavas were worthless, they were supposed to be destroyed, and it meant a good big benefit for the entire world. He was so envious that he could not even share that much amount of land upon which the tip of needle will rest. So envious. And don't think they are free from their envy. Morality is the absence of opportunity. We just don't know. Envy is what binds the living entity to this material world. So when we actually sense, when we can actually observe that envy towards living entities in this world, we should understand actually it's not toward this guy. My envy is really towards Krishna. Sometimes I've seen, I take prasadam, then another devotee sits next in front of me and takes prasadam. But he has a pretty full plate. On our plate, you have seen we have four compartments and one big compartment in the middle. Then he takes four times sweet, five times sweet, and though the sweet is unlimited, I have a problem. Why is he eating so much sweet? They have some control. And I'm not his mentor. I have nothing to do with him. Still, I have a problem. And we might say, this fellow only keeps eating. This is all envy. We cannot tolerate others' happiness. And
It's like lust and greed. Everybody has envy. Is it that?
last time we
Lust, like those are the things purities that we mentioned.
we have six. Last time we agreed, pride, envy, illusion.
So pride and
Yeah.
envy also comes in.
Yes, it comes. Matsarata.
Because and then before coming into Krishna consciousness, that some kind of big change after coming into this, but one is very pure.
Correct.
So I thought of asking you this thing, but the swabhav is like that you get from a previous
Yeah.
everybody gets whatever kind of knowledge from their previous life.
Yeah, Swabhav is on this platform of subtle body. So it is, um, you can say this shaped by our past activities and what we associate with accordingly. Like if you give in to anger a lot, you are your Swabhava will be that you are an angry person because you've associated. Sometimes it is more innate and it becomes it's called as samskara. If it's not that innate, there are different words like last time vasana. Last time once I was showing, isn't it? Bad habits. Here only I was showing vasana and more concentrate of vasana. If you keep succumbing to vasanas, it becomes vritti. Vritti is even more stronger. And when you keep succumbing to vritti, it becomes samskara. Samskara means it is very deep rooted to your nature.
So
Yeah.
it cannot be changed
Of
except
course, but
one.
it takes time. It takes time and surrender. How much one is surrendered to Guru and Krishna, accordingly, Swabhava is changed. Yes, I'll. Yeah.
I just wanted to confirm, and out of the six impurities, envy is the worst, right? Or like the most intolerable in
Yeah,
bhakti.
well, for us, we can say all are bad. All are bad.
All are bad.
Yeah, all are bad. Lust is okay. Lust is. You can say lust gives rise to all the other.
Okay. I was watching one lecture of Narendra Prabhu where he said that like it was I think Ram Katha, and he said that like there was this one instance he was talking about where Hanumanji
Flu.
flying over the
One of the
ocean.
demons came up.
Yes, and there was this one demon that signified envy, and he
Correct.
just did not tolerate that one. Otherwise, he like does just dodge the
Yeah,
demon.
that one he killed.
Yeah, that one he killed. So like I just wanted to confirm on that. So you're saying that like all are on the same level, or
No, I'm saying from our perspective, they're all the same. Why? Because Sri Prabhupada says two things. One place he says lust leads to envy. Other place he says envy leads to lust. Envy. And so for us, basically, we have to become, happy in serving others. And therefore, what is the antidote to envy? Is appreciation. When you don't like someone, appreciate him more. Spiritual qualities. We don't care for material qualities. Spiritual qualities. Wow, such a nice devotee. Such a regular devotee. Every Sunday is there. He has so much of service attitude. So like this, you find out good qualities and glorify. And there is appreciation is the antidote to envy. Envy is called as hidden appreciation. So just appreciate on the face.
how do we treat someone who is like filled with pride, like too much pride?
Like towards you in his dealings with you.
Yeah. Like for example, if there's like a group, okay, and as a matter of fact, that person has a lot of pride, okay, but still as a friend or family or like whatever,
Hmm.
how how would we deal with such kind of person?
Um, you don't have to purify him unless he has surrendered to you. Just avoid him.
Okay.
Yeah, avoid dealing. That can you give me some tips how to overcome pride? Then you can tell me. Yeah.
More of a clarification. When you said that we should be we should be okay, like, if that person is feeling happy while eating sweets,
Hmm.
can you please provide a context of this logic? Because by that it might mean because everyone has a different sense of happiness where they derive that happiness from. Some people derive happiness by stealing. So
Hmm.
how do we contextualize like what you're saying?
No, therefore I said it's unlimited sweets. When say for example, temple is saying today someone has sponsored a huge feast and it's unlimited prasad. You can have how many ever times. Then I have seen sometimes, I want something and it's not even sweet. Like once recently I take little so that it's not too much. So I went first time he gave, second time he gave, third time he gave. And fourth time when I'm taking, he said, Prabhu ji, क्या हो गया? आज तो अच्छे से ले रहे हैं आप. So I said, Prabhu, what is your problem? Temple is giving. Your seva is there. You are supposed to serve prasadam at this time of the day. I tell him, I was thinking in my mind, what is your problem? I just smile very. Inside, I was thinking, what's your problem? So sometimes we are not. There's something agitating inside when we see others are happy.
But that is exactly my point that I'm trying to make. So
Yeah.
in a situation where someone likes to steal, but he's so happy doing it, so I should be happy for him that it's fine. That's what
No.
I'm trying to ask you. Like, you're giving me an example, but what's the logic we should keep it in,
I'm not.
limit it in?
Of course, if someone is doing illegal things,
So basically, as society, we're agreed to a few things that we will not do. Apart from that, like we have
of
like we
course,
won't be killing. Okay, so it also works for specific situations then.
yeah. So let's look at the principle. Principle is para sukha sukhi, para dukkha dukhi.
Yeah.
Be happy for others' happiness. If others are in distress, we also feel sorrow and we want to help them. That means we're overcoming envy. That's the principle.
But in specific context then.
Of course, I mean, like, the
Yeah. Okay.
that's all.
No, but
Yeah,
the reason clarification here because it might be taken out of context. You're just trying to say that be happy for
yeah,
others in
yeah,
all kinds of things.
yeah. Of course, not like stealing in
Yeah.
not extreme cases.
Thanks.
Yes,
I
Mike.
understand the point that the soul was envious of Krishna, so that's why it came to this world.
Hmm.
And then this soul is envious of everyone else. But I didn't understand the point that when we are in this material world, envious of Krishna now as well.
Of course,
The understanding how,
understanding. Okay,
because
so
we
yeah.
think of Krishna as a supreme deity, and we are happy of all these activities. So
Oh, really?
how,
You're happy?
yeah, so
Sure.
looking at Krishna, we are all happy, right? And
So
chanting
why
Hare
don't you give
Krishna,
him everything?
whatever we want to give, like that's what I'm trying to understand. It's the envy part is like we are holding on to our
Hmm.
material connections.
Actually, you have to first of all. Hmm. Once I read a book and I came across this one pastime of Krishna. I'm not like demon 16 rounds Hare Krishna mantra, etc., etc. So when I was reading Krishna book, I came across this particular pastime where Krishna steals the clothes of the gopis.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to the entire pastime. There, I got one doubt in my mind. I mean, how can you do this? Isn't it? That is also envy. Therefore, we want to fit Krishna, we want to fit God in our logic box, our morality box. See, if you're God, you have to behave like what I think you should be. That's what I was trying to address at the beginning. When we try to control other people, saying that, Prabhu, why do you smile on your one cheek? Why do you, for anything what we say, instead of saying, some people have with Indians, they say these Indians, they don't know, they cannot nod or shake.
Right.
They only say, what? Bubble head,
Bubble head.
bubble head, that one. So these mannerisms, characteristics, features, other swabha, we have a problem. That is all rooted to envy. So when people, they let them be their individual personalities. And when we talk like this, I'm not saying that that means if they're lusty, let them be lusty rogues. Not like that. But let them be individual personalities. People their room, their breathing space, isn't it? More we try to jump and say, Prabhuji, you have to be like this only, because I'm your friend, to please my senses. That is in bracket, that's in the mind. Uh, but you have to be like this. And that is why do we say that? Because of envy.
Okay.
And the same thing goes for Krishna also. It's a deeper principle. And you can say, Krishna says the first verse in Srimad Bhagavatam is Janmadyasya. God is one from whom everything emanates. That's the definition of God, the source of everything. Now, if someone has a particular nature, where does that nature coming from? Srila Prabhupada says, if someone likes to steal, where is that stealing propensity coming from? Where is it coming from?
Like from the universe itself, like
From the universe. Huh?
so
Which part of the universe?
from Krishna itself.
बोल दो ना Krishna. Krishna. If someone asks you, where is lust coming from?
Okay.
Krishna. Lust also comes from Krishna. That is also coming from Krishna. But in Krishna, everything is absolute because he doesn't need anything from us. For whatever he does, only benefits us. By stealing butter from the houses of gopis, the gopis feed him something at home. And Yashoda said, okay, from tomorrow any of your homes. Then they would say, no, 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 don't do like that, Yashoda. We are complaining, but at the same time we are happy. For whom do you think are we making this butter at home? They were also making butter for Krishna, isn't
So
it?
so us putting that instead of seeing the whole Leela, we just putting that Krishna stole it. That is the envious part.
Yeah. So yeah. So to conclusion is I'm saying that whatever swabhav, whatever we see in this world, if you have a problem with someone's nature, you should say that this nature, where is this nature coming from? That nature is also a part of Krishna's nature.
Right.
So if I have a problem with this particular person, he has a particular nature. That means when I meet Krishna, I'll have problem with Krishna also,
Understood.
isn't it?
Yeah.
Krishna will have that nature. What will you do? You have to tolerate eternally.
Right.
Uh, so
So just to follow up on that. So basically,
there.
so you're saying to tolerate, not to accept, though.
What?
The nature, like, which is something opposite of us, different natures.
Did I say to
Tolerate.
tolerate?
You said tolerate.
No. In what context is it
You said
tolerate?
it's okay to tolerate right now because you'll have to, when you go to Krishna, you'll
No,
see
no.
this.
I didn't say that. I said something else. What did I say, Prabhu?
Basically, you were giving an example that if you don't tolerate the
So he said tolerate.
no, no, if
But
you
that's not the
don't
point.
tolerate here, it
Yeah.
means that you
That's
will
what I'm
not
asking.
tolerate.
So you're saying accepting or tolerate?
We, then we have to therefore give room to everyone. Everyone is individual nature. You cannot say that all the people in front of me should be like me. I tried it. Didn't work. Everyone has an individual. When we respect that, we become friendly. Mhm. The Titi Kshama Karunikaha is tolerance. Second, Titi Kshama Karunikaha is compassionate to all. Third one is Suhrida Sarvadehinam. He is friendly to all living entities. How do you think you can build friendship with everyone? Is when you can see beyond their swabhava. Only then. Where if you're envious of living entities, you cannot be friendly. And therefore, when Radhanath Swami, before when he was Richard Travel, when he was in different forests in India, under the guidance of different Babajis, one Babaji taught him how to be in the forest and meditate without being attacked by wild animals. The principle behind that still is to understand they're also part and parcel of Krishna. So don't be envious of them. When you imbibe that quality of friendliness to all living entities, even the animals can sense that you are of no danger, and they won't touch you, isn't it? I think something happened with the recording. Or what? Yes.
Prabhu, but what if someone is not behaving
Connecting.
correct? Are we still supposed to tolerate if someone is not?
No, tolerance is not at all the goal of this. I'm not touching tolerance.
No, but acceptance
Prabhu.
also.
That's not the point. Tolerance is not at all the point. Yeah. I mean, some things we are anyway supposed to tolerate, but that's a whole different discussion. And make a point and Prabhu diverted. Let me just share this screen again. Did you share it or no? Okay. So why am I saying this? Because Arjuna's qualification is he has a doubt, but at the same time he has full faith that whatever Krishna says will help me. And therefore Krishna spoke this Gita knowledge to Arjuna. You can have a copy of Gita in your home, but if you don't have faith that Krishna, what he says in the Gita, will help me, what is the use? Isn't it? And therefore, this is Arjuna's qualification. He says, see, this is my doubt, O Krishna, and I ask you to dispel it completely. But for you, no one is able to is to be found who can destroy this doubt. He has complete faith. Krishna can help me. Isn't it? So therefore, I was saying, if you want to know.
Yes, I had one.
Okay, before you know, you read the purport.
I'll read the purport.
Yes.
Okay, purport.
It might answer your question.
Yeah. Krishna is the perfect knower of past, present, and future. In the beginning of the Bhagavad Gita, the Lord said that all living entities existed individually in the past, yet they exist now in the present, and they continue to retain individual identity in the future, even after liberation from the material entanglement. So he has already cleared up the question of the future of the living entity, individual living entity. Now Krishna wants to know the future
Krishna or
of,
Arjuna?
sorry, now Arjun wants to know the future of the unsuccessful transcendentalist. No one is equal to or above Krishna, and certainly the so-called sages and philosophers who are at the mercy of material nature cannot equal him. Therefore, the verdict of Krishna is the final and complete answer to all doubts, because he knows past, present, and future perfectly. But no one knows him. Krishna and Krishna conscious devotees alone can know what is what.
Yeah. Krishna says in which chapter? Seventh chapter. I know the past, present, and future, but me no one knows. Mhm. I'm not recalling the verse. So he says in seventh chapter, and Prabhupada is saying that Krishna is all knowledgeable. What are the six? You know why is Krishna called as Bhagavan? Whenever Krishna speaks in Bhagavad Gita, what is said? Shri Bhagavan Vacha, not Shri Krishna Vacha, not Shri Madhusudan Vacha. Shri Bhagavan Vacha. You know what does Bhagavan mean? Who knows? So Bhagavan means six opulences. The one who holds these six opulences in full. What are the six opulences?
Wisdom,
Wisdom, strength, beauty,
renunciation.
wealth. Correct. These are the six opulences. And Krishna has them full completely for all time to come. His opulence doesn't depreciate. Okay. So therefore, Krishna is called as all knowledgeable. He knows everything. And therefore, we can have complete faith that whatever we ask Krishna, what Krishna says, even if we don't understand, that doesn't mean Krishna is wrong. That means we are in ignorance. Because Krishna has all knowledge. It's not that Krishna was 125 years old on the during the Mahabharata war, and therefore his knowledge depreciated. No. Krishna was completely knowledgeable on the day one when he was in this world, and last day before he left this world. Completely knowledgeable. So whatever advice he gives, it is very deep, but it works. And therefore Gita knowledge holds such substance because it's spoken by Krishna, not spoken by Ramik and Hari. Hmm? Your question, bro?
I had a confirmation.
Okay.
You said while answering Anush Prabhu's
Yeah.
answer that Krishna actually doesn't need anything from us. So by that, what you mean actually is that because Prabhupada has said, like, and so many devotees I've heard saying that Krishna wants your love more than, like, is hankering for your love,
Now
right?
for whose benefit?
Yeah, exactly.
And Upanishad is the first begins invocation verse. It is complete. From complete comes
Complete.
whatever comes is complete.
Hmm.
That means, say you have a big pie of cheesecake, the whole thing, whole circle. If whatever you remove, according to this verse, is complete. It's in itself another cheesecake. But in this material world, when you remove the original substance becomes some sort of shortcoming.
Hmm.
But the invocation verse says when you take whatever comes out from Krishna is complete, and Krishna also still remains complete. Yeah, that means one minus one is
Hmm.
one. Still mathematics. But when Krishna, he is called as independent complete, and from him comes Jiva, and that Jiva is also complete, but he is a dependent complete. And therefore, you'll find in this world that Jiva, wherever he goes, he has to depend on something. You depend on your employer, you depend on your parents, you depend on society, on the country, something you have to depend on. If you are number one man in this world, then probably you're dependent on your wealth. The living entity is not complete on its own by nature. Supreme Lord is complete. How big means Swaraj? Swaraj means it's completely independent. So when we say Krishna only wants your love, no, versus when we say parents want your love, parents want your love to fulfill their void in their heart. Krishna wants your love for your benefit. Yeah, that means
Okay.
he's independent, complete. Whereas parents also, we say Krishna is the father of all living entities. When we say, okay, my parents are the father, my father is the father of me and my brother, two living entities. Isn't it? But there is big difference. Your father is also Jiva, you are also Jiva. You are seeking happiness from your father, father is seeking happiness from you. But between you and Krishna relationship, you are seeking happiness from Krishna. Krishna is not seeking happiness from you. He is seeking to give you happiness for your benefit. This is by nature.
Wow.
Yeah,
Okay.
is it understandable?
Yes. Yes. And there was another one to be on. Yeah. You said all of these like lust, greed, or they come from Krishna. What's the explanation behind envy coming from Krishna?
Um, there are transcendental rasas which happen in the material in the spiritual world. Mm. Krishna also sometimes he might show envy that or you can say I don't want to go into esoteric pastimes. There's been so many pastimes that
Like
happens.
playing with
Coward boys.
who will run first.
Yeah, who will run first, or maybe in tug of war or wrestling. Madhumangal might say, I'm actually the one who's controlling all of you. But Krishna will say, hey, who are you? I am the one. Actually, like when Krishna lifted the Govardhan hill,
Hmm.
and finally when he rested the Govardhan hill, and Yashoda said, my beta Krishna, you're okay, no? You're so strong. You're holding Govardhan by yourself. Madhumangal said, what? It was me by my Brahma Tejas. By my Brahma Tejas, I was holding the Govardhan in the air. Krishna only touched it, isn't it? So like that, there's envy in the pastimes of the spiritual world also. That's just to um, add decoration, add it's called as rasa, taste in the pastime. Hmm? Does that make sense?
Yes, definitely.
So these things are there in the spiritual world, but it's abstract platform. When it comes to material world, it becomes very degraded and unwanted. వేదాహం సమధీతాన్ని వర్తమానాన్ని చార్జున భవిష్యాన్ని చ భూమి మాం తు వేదన కశ్చన. Thank you, Prabhu. Okay, text 40. Now Krishna is speaking. Anuvacha
श्रीभगवानुवाच
पार्थ नैवेह
देहनाथ
विनाशस्तस्य विद्यते
विनाशस्तस्य विद्यते
न हि कल्याणकृत् कश्चित्
न हि कल्याणकृत्
दुर्गतिं
कश्चित्
तात गच्छति.
दुर्गतिं तात गच्छति.
Who's reading, Prabhu?
Translation: The Supreme Personality of Godhead, the Son of Gita, a transcendentalist engaged in auspicious activities, does not meet with destruction either in this world or in the spiritual world. One who does good, my friend, is never overcome by evil.
Yeah. Okay, purport. Purport Prabhupada talks, he refers Bhagavatam and he quotes Narada's instruction to Vyasadeva. Taktva swadharmam charanambujam harer bhajan napakvot pate tato yadi yatrakvava bhajavahudamushrikim ko vartapto bhajatam swadharmataha. Translation, read, continue.
If someone gives up all material prospects and takes complete shelter of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, there is no loss or degradation in any way. On the other hand, a non devotee may fully engage in his occupational duties and yet
Yet
not
not
gain
gain anything.
anything.
Because whatever material facilities we have, they are all considered as big zeros. My account is 200, one big zero. Prabhu, I'm the richest man, another zero. Prabhu, I have so many talents, big zeros. Does it have value? How much 0 plus 0 is? But 10 zeros when you add, how much is zero? So adding Krishna to that is adding one behind all the zeros, before all the zeros. Now when you add a zero, does it have value? Lot of value, isn't it? Now, Prabhu, I'm a very good cook for Krishna. Oh, it is nothing goes in vain. We are performing activities in this world, but everything what we're doing is we're investing in our eternal bank. Students ask, "Prabhu, I have no time. I have to study. Therefore, I cannot chant." So we say, yes, we have to study. We have to be competent in this world. That's all right. But when you do chanting side by side, you're investing everything in your spiritual bank account. Otherwise, what happens? You might do everything. You might conquer the whole world. But when your time is done, you have to give up the whole world. And when Bhumi, I think when she's talking to King Prithu, she says this. King Prithu is an Amsha of Vishnu. And she's saying, my dear Lord, everything actually belongs to you. So many kings have come and gone. Whenever the king comes, like Mughal Empire came to India, they were saying this tract of land is ours. After that, they left. Before that, Chandragupta Maurya, the Mauryan Empire was there. They said, this tract of land is ours. For some time, they said. After that, they went. Then came British. They said, this tract of land is ours. They left, but the land remained. So Bhumi is saying, all people's souls, they occupy the land, claim to own it, they leave and go, but the land is actually yours, isn't it? So therefore, whenever we do anything for Krishna, there is no loss. We are always investing in the eternal benefit. So there will be studies, there will be work, there will be we are busy with so many things, taking care of body, taking care of mind, taking care of career. All these things are important, but at the same time, we don't invest in Krishna consciousness. Soon they all will become zero. So do you want your endeavors to become zero or to be counted? That is the question we have to ask. We want our endeavors to be counted. That means you have to add that Krishna, that one before our endeavors. If they're not Krishna conscious, they end up as zero. And therefore, whatever we work, whatever we do in this world, we have to work in such a way that we are making a gradual progress towards Krishna. After this life, no, no more interviews. I never land up in America and such a job market time. Never. That means you go to spiritual, there are no interviews, there are no exams. There's only fun. So therefore, Krishna, Prabhupada is quoting this verse where Narada is saying, don't think that if you give up anything for Krishna and you're taking care of Krishna, you're losing anything. Whereas people who don't take to Krishna and they gain the whole material world, actually they're the losers. Because just because I have this in my hand, see, this belongs to Kaushal Prabhu, but I'm holding it. I'm saying, Prabhu, I got my iPad. I'm showing to everyone. But a matter of 10 minutes, he'll come and take it. Will you really get it? You catch Krishna's lotus feet, is eternally yours. I'll continue, Prabhu.
For material prospects, there are many activities, both scriptural and customary. A transcendentalist is supposed to give up all material activities for the sake of spiritual advancement in life, Krishna consciousness. One may argue that by Krishna consciousness, one
He's
may
supposed to give up what? All material activities for the sake of spiritual advancement. Be ready to give up. You don't have to give up. But in case it's coming in, becoming obstacle, then we have to be ready to pursue spiritual advancement over material advancement. Because material advancement is temporary. Continue.
one may argue that by Krishna consciousness, one may attain the highest perfection if it is completed. But if one does not attain such a perfectional stage, then he loses both materially and
That's
spiritually.
Arjuna's problem.
It is enjoined in the scriptures that one has to suffer the reaction for not executing prescribed duties. Therefore, the one who fails to discharge transcendental activities properly becomes subjected to this reaction. The Bhagavatam assures the unsuccessful transcendentalist that there need be no worries. Even though he may be subjected to the reaction for not perfectly executing prescribed duties, he is still not a loser because auspicious Krishna consciousness is never forgotten, and one so engaged will continue to be so even if he is reborn in the next life. On the other hand, one who simply follows strictly the prescribed duties need not necessarily attain auspicious results if he is lacking in Krishna consciousness.
Yeah. So then Prabhupada says humanity may be divided into two sections, regulated, non-regulated, and the. So the point what Prabhupada is bringing, it's a very long purport. Okay. So what point Prabhupada is bringing in the first stanza or first paragraph is that whatever our material condition is changeable, but spiritual progress is permanent. Hmm. That means if we advance 1% this life, next life we begin from 2%. Right? 2% is the progress we make. So it's just like your game when you reach a particular checkpoint. After that, you don't have to worry. But till you reach a checkpoint, you have to worry. But here is automatic save. As soon as you're playing, you're saving your progress. So whenever you start next time, you continue from there. And the good thing is you can finish 100% this lifetime. You don't have to wait for other lifetimes. So all that is saved. So therefore, anyone who gives, against him. प्राप्य पुण्यकृतां लोकान्
प्राप्य पुण्यकृतां
उषित्वा
लोकान्
शाश्वती समाः
शाश्वती समाः
शुचीनां श्रीमतां गेहे
शुचिनां श्रीमतां
योगभ्रष्टो विजायते.
योगभ्रष्टो विजायते.
Krishna is telling now, in case you are a yogi, you're practicing Krishna consciousness, your spiritual life, but you failed to continue for a long time. You fell back after short practice. Even there is no loss for such a person. Why? By practicing for a short time. Next life he is born as a in a Brahminical family or in a rich family. How many of you are coming from a Brahminic background or very pious background? From childhood, you are associated with a lot of Vedic mantras, Krishna, etc., etc. Some of you, right? And how many of you are coming from a rich background? You are well off attention of loan and this and that. Few, isn't it? So Krishna says, "Shuchina Srimata." That means if you are falling in this category, life seriously. You already started last time. Shuchinam Shrimatam Gehe Yoga. Usually from the background of Shuchinam Shrimatam. That means they are from childhood they got an opportunity to be very pious, Krishna conscious, and or they also have been brought up in a rich family where there was no worry of you know chocolate khan hai, paisa hai, kya, you don't have to check. Plus, hey, you don't have to worry about small stuff. So you can think big. So this is what Krishna says for a person who has given up from his spiritual life after short practice. Read Prabhu.
The unsuccessful yogi, after many, many years of enjoyment on the planets of the pious living entities, is born into a family of righteous people or into a family of rich aristocracy.
Yeah. So and after this life, you go to heavenly planets to enjoy. Of course, devotees don't look for that. And then after that, when he comes to his Bhuloka, again he's born in family of rich people of rich aristocracy. Yeah. Please do go through these purports. I'm going to go ahead. Okay. 642. अथवा योगिनामेव
अथवा
कुले
योगिनामेव
भवति धीमताम्
कुले भवति धीमताम्
एतद्धि दुर्लभतरम्
एतद्धि दुर्लभतरम्
लोके जन्म यदीदृशम्.
लोके जन्म यदीदृशम्.
Yes. Now this is about a yogi who falls from his practice after a long time, long amount of practice. Yeah.
Or if, unsuccessful after long practice of yoga, he takes his birth in a family of transcendentalists who are surely great in wisdom. Certainly, such a birth is rare in
Birth
this
is very
world.
rare. If you fall down after long practice, don't worry, because Krishna will make sure to place you in such take sannyas. Your mother is a pure devotee of the Lord, like Mirabai. Your brothers are all chanting Hare Krishna from childhood. Great family of transcendentalists. Why? So that from childhood you're always very Krishna conscious. Like Acharya families. Can you read this?
Birth in a
Many
family
people
of
think, my last name is Acharya. I think probably they're talking about me. So let's see who is it actually.
Birth in a family of yogis or transcendentalists, those with great wisdom, is praised herein because the child is born in such family receives a spiritual impetus from the very beginning of his life. It is especially the case in the Acharya Goswami families. Such families are very learned, and devoted by tradition and training, and thus they become spiritual masters. In India, there are many such Acharya families, but they have now degenerated due to insufficient education and training. By the grace of the Lord, there are still families that foster transcendentalists generation after
Yeah, like when
generation.
Sri Prabhupada was born in small body, his father would always invite sadhus to their home, and father would always ask these Babas, sadhus, whoever would come to their home, to please make Abhay a great devotee of Radharani. That's what he would ask them. So, and Gaur Mohan Dev was a very pure, very much pure devotee of the Lord. Prabhupada says later on. So from childhood he got that training. Isn't it? Continue.
It is certainly very fortunate to take birth in such families. Fortunately, both are spiritual masters, Om Vishnupadaya Srimad Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Maharaj, and our humble self had the opportunity to take birth in such families. By the grace of the Lord, and both of us were trained in the devotional service of the Lord from the very beginning of our lives. Later on, we met by the order of transcendental system.
Prabhupada is saying his birth was also like that, even his guru's birth, Sri Bhakti Siddhanta Thakur. He was born to Shri Bhaktivinoda Thakur. Imagine. His father is pure devotee. And from childhood, for him it was very easy to quit school and quit college and he became a sannyasi later on. Why? Because full support was there. From childhood, there is no distraction like that. So when a yogi falls down after short practice, what happens? He goes to heavenly planets to enjoy and is born in a Brahmanical or a rich family so that he can get more opportunity to practice Krishna consciousness. And if a yogi falls down after a long practice, what happens? He is born in a Acharya family, in a pure devotee family. Yeah, simple. Okay. तत्ततं बुद्धिसंयोगं लभते पौर्वदेहि संसिद्धौ कुरुनन्दना.
On taking such a birth, he revives the divine consciousness of his previous life, and he again tries to make further progress in order to achieve complete success. O son of Guru.
And therefore, such families, he takes birth in such families so that his Krishna consciousness can be easily revived. Isn't it? For example, King Bharat, because on account of his attachment, he is an example of falling down from position of long practice. He was almost there, like 99.9% done. And he fell down, being attached to a deer. Next life was born in the deer's family, in the body of a deer, but with remembrance of his past life. So immediately when he was small doe, he quit the family of deers and went back to the same Pula ashrama to hear the Vedic hymns from the sages. That means from childhood. He was born close to Pula ashrama. Why? Because Krishna puts all effort. He makes all the arrangements such that we can make progress in spiritual life. It's not that we tried our best but we failed. Okay, what to do? Okay, someone else can try now. No, Krishna is Krishna consciousness is a very personalized process. Krishna is there for us. So Sri Prabhupada gives the example, just like a cat carrying a kitten. That is bhakti yoga. Jnana karma, it is all the child. What do you call monkey's child? Prabhuji?
It's baby monkey.
Baby monkey. I think I could have figured it out. Baby monkey. How does the mother monkey carry the baby monkey? On the back, not like this, on the back. That means the baby monkey has to hold on to the mother monkey. So while the mother monkey is jumping and going, if the baby monkey leaves, it's gone. What to do? Next time, try again. Whereas the cat holds the kitten in her teeth in such a way it does not hurt, it doesn't make the child bleed, kitten bleed, but out of love, it holds. Now, if the kitten wants to fall, also it cannot fall. That's bhakti yoga. So when we practice bhakti yoga, Krishna is holding us. So actually, we always get fall down in bhakti yoga because whatever yoga is holding, he is there for us. Until and unless you declare to Krishna, Krishna, I don't want to do anything with you, then he's okay, you and your karma. But otherwise, Krishna is there holding your hand and taking your head. That's bhakti yoga. Whereas other yoga systems are you are holding on to the mother monkey. You leave it by mistake, you're gone. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah. See, Prabhupada gives the example of King Bharat. Okay. The whole thing is Bharat Maharaj example. I have total 45, fifth one. Huh? I have पूर्वाभ्यासेन तेनैव क्रियते ह्यवशोऽपि सः जिज्ञासुरपि योगस्य शब्दब्रह्माति वर्तते. Continue.
By virtue of the divine consciousness,
And we have found so many such devotees, they from American background, but as soon as they see the chanting of he would actually go to forest and meditate just naturally like that. Anyone try? Hey, go to forest and meditate, you will say, no, no, I'm supposed to sleep on my bed, mattress bed. We were in temple, so I go in forest naturally from childhood. Hmm. So this is all coming from past life. Purva abhyasena yogena. Hmm. And therefore he is automatically attracted to yoga principles. Vegetarian, yeah, makes sense. Sattvic life. He wants sattvic life. Some people you tell sattvic life, you have to live sattvic life, it just doesn't click. They just have no attraction. That means the purva abhyas is not done. They have to start. For some people, it's very much so. They find, yeah, of course, why was even need to eat? This lifestyle is so much better. It just clicks. That means Purvabhyas here. Such an inquisitive person stands always above the. For one, the principles of Krishna consciousness is very natural. Like His Holiness Bhakti Vikas Maharaj says, when he met the devotees first time, when he went to temple in London, the devotees told him, what is our process? Our process is to chant 16 rounds of Hare Krishna mantra daily. From that day, he took the beads and started 16 rounds chanting daily. It is not a joke. Some of us have been coming for years together still. एक वाला भी बहुत कठिन से होता है, isn't it? But Bhakti Vikas Maharaj, once a person told him 16 rounds, 16 rounds that day. That means they have Purva Bhyasa Yogena. From past life it is coming. And many of us, we have progress from past life. Therefore, to that degree, it becomes easier. But if our past life was only sense gratification, to that degree, it's a challenge. Advanced yogis are not very much attracted to rituals of the scriptures, but they automatically become attracted to yoga principles, which elevate them to complete Krishna consciousness. Famous example was presented by Lord Chaitanya, one of his most important disciples. See, Haridas Thakur was born in a month, but he was called as Namacharya. Title was given. He's Acharya for chanting the holy name. In this life, he must have passed through ritualistic methods of Vedas. नाम गृह्णन्ति ते
Of my Lord, persons who chant the holy name
Oh
of your
my
Lord.
lord.
Yeah, oh my Lord. Persons who chant the holy names of your lordships are advanced in spiritual life, even if born in families of dog eaters. Such chanters have undoubtedly performed all kinds of austerities and sacrifices, bathed in all sacred praises, and finished all scriptural studies.
That means if you are clicking to Krishna consciousness, worshipping Krishna, chanting Krishna, it is to be understood that you have bathed in all the sacred rivers, you have performed all kinds of yajna, performed all kinds of dana, charity. Still, that is the power of chanting Hare Krishna. This is what is being. This is from Srimad Bhagavatam, third canto. You don't have to do anything else. No, you're not bound by any other rules and regulations. It is said. Or scriptures means get up. You have to do this yajna, that dana, this tapa, this time, this muhurta. Nothing. For a person who is devotee of Krishna, he surpasses everything. Last verse. प्रयत्नाद्यतमानस्तु योगी संशुद्ध किल्बिषः अनेकन्ति
And when the yogi engages himself with sincere endeavor in making further progress, being washed of all contaminations, then ultimately achieving perfection after many, many births of practice, he attains the supreme goal.
But Sri Prabhupada said, this very lifetime you can go back home, back to Bali. One lifetime process. Hmm. So here, by engaging himself in trying to make further progress in Krishna consciousness, he is gradually purifying his heart, and gradually he goes to the spiritual world. So Arjuna's question: what happens if I am trying to balance material and spiritual life? I attain perfection in neither. What is the answer Krishna gave? Don't worry. Okay. It's adding one to your material things. Okay. Life. Yeah. You can say it might be less, little less than what you would have otherwise achieved without Krishna consciousness. But there is heroes. Very good. Very good. Anything else? What does it Krishna say? This is Arjuna's question is while balancing taking compromise and I might not end up anywhere. So what answer? One thing. We'll start next time. You can continue from next time. There's no loss. In spiritual life, there's no loss. You're chanting only one round this whole life. You will start from two rounds next time. No problem. You can start today also. You double. No problem. Sometime we'll start. Good. Anything else? Okay, please ask. Santosh, right?
So, like, my question is, like, when you say like practicing Krishna consciousness and the spiritual path, can that be connected to like the material path in the sense that can actions which are impacted in the material spiritual perspective? To sort of like give you an example, like we have like great cricketers, for example, like Sachin Tendulkar.
Yeah.
I've seen in one of his interviews where he said that he was born to play cricket, and I've also seen like say big wave surfers, like fulfilling like the will of God for their own life and like a meaningful purpose.
Mm.
And at least I can say from my own like
Okay.
individualistic perspective that I'm actually like a robotics researcher,
Mm-hmm.
and it comes more from like a place of like natural curiosity and like a natural inclination, not just like to make money as such. So in that sense, what would be your response to that? Do like is there like a connection between like your materialistic actions and like a fulfillment of a higher will?
Yeah. That is your conscious effort. You have to make that connection. That is possible connection, but it is not naturally connected. Now, if Sachin Tendulkar says, "I'm just playing cricket and it is so fulfilling to me," yeah, I mean, good for you. So that has nothing to do with spiritual life. Why? Because to take to spiritual life is one's conscious free will. It's up to you. Do you want to be spiritual? Isn't it? So it's nice. For example, it is called as Varnashrama Dharma. You have heard of Varnashrama? Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra, Brahmachari, Grihastha, Vanprastha, Sannyasi. You have heard of this before? Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra? No? Okay. So these are natural classification in nature. Some people are naturally like to teach, isn't it? They are Brahmanas. They learn Patan Patan, and Dan Pratignya, Yajin Yajan. They like to perform sacrifices. They lead Satvik Ahar. They like to study. They like to teach. It's all very Brahmanical. Kshatriya means they like to management, leadership role, administration. This is Kshatriyas. Vaishya means wherever they see a dollar sign. How do I make a business out of it? Profit. Hmm? And Shudra means they like to work hard. Isn't it? So this is a natural psychophysical thing. And if you go anywhere, there are people they tell that Prabhu, just give me some pots to wash. If I can wash some pots, your Gita lecture who's here, yeah, let me just wash some pots. I'm happy there. So that is good. But if they wash pots in a restaurant and they say I'm happy with washing pots in a restaurant, there is no benefit. That is counted as material life, which brings about the time of death. But they can come to the temple and wash Krishna's pots in the kitchen downstairs. Then same, they have the tendency to wash pots, but it is actually helping them get liberated. They will lose attachment to Krishna. Then they have developed connection. You're able to understand. So whatever tendency you have, like you are saying, for example, robotics researcher. Okay, but find a way that you can connect it to Krishna. If Sachin Tendulkar says now all his fame is because of Krishna, actually Krishna is the best cricketer, batsman. I can only do 100 century. He can do 1000. He's glorifying Krishna from his position of fame. Then he has connected. He's uh, offering the fruits of his action to Krishna. There is a connection, but that choice he has to make. Doesn't make sense. It is not naturally connected. That you have to make that connection. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So whatever we do in this world, you can connect to Krishna until unless you're doing performing simple activity.
How
Vilas,
would you connect that? How would like what are the ways to connect that?
robotics thing.
No. In general, like to Krishna, you said if
Like
he.
if you like to cook, cook for Krishna. Cook and offer to Krishna. I heard Krishna likes frozen yogurt, isn't it? He likes fruit yogurt. Okay, make something. He likes Jagannath likes jackfruit. Cut jackfruit and offer, or sabji. Arvi is a particular vegetable. So nice, make some arvi sabji and offer. Like that. You offer for Krishna. So we cook here, but we offer to the Lord and we only take prasad, remnants of the Lord. So if you like to speak, if you like a speaker, study Bhagavad Gita and speak Gita knowledge. And if you like to do research into the Shastra, what is all the Shastra? What is Vedic wisdom? Who is Krishna? Do that research. Very important research. If you are very scientific, okay, try to show how scientists can also believe in God. How that's a very practical thing. So whatever you're good at, you can connect, dovetail to Krishna consciousness. Yeah.
Thank you.
What was I saying before this? ठीक है, just while balancing. Hmm? I got two answers. Prabhu said one, and Prabhu said one. You can continue next life. And Krishna says one more thing. Short-term practice, long-term practice, fruits. What happens?
You're born in the
Yes.
you're born in the rich family or Brahminical family where you
Yeah.
can advance.
That is for short-term practice. Failure after short-term practice. Failure after long-term practice. Acharya families. So Krishna says, "Don't worry, Arjuna. There will not be any loss." And next two verses, which is the conclusion of sixth chapter, we will do next time. Where Krishna tells Arjuna, therefore become a yogi and get connected. And he says, "Tasma yogi bhava Arjuna." And he says, "But then who is this yogi?" He says, "Don't worry. The topmost yogi is person like you who has full faith in what I'm saying. A bhakta yogi. Bhakti yogi is the topmost yogi." He says, they defeats all the other paths by that statement. So that we'll discuss next time. So sorry for keeping you for too long, but I was very passionate to finish this section today because last time Prabhuji took another topic, so I had to combine two sessions and complete it. But I hope it made sense. Hmm. So maybe we will go for prasadam and darshan. Yeah, you guys can chant Hare Krishna on your own. Okay. How many of you have not chanted before? You can Hare Krishna. Chant it anytime. अरे वेट बाबा कुछ नहीं होगा 8:40 है अभी 8:45 तक है शुरू होगा दर्शन wait now who have chanted before who haven't chanted before who haven't chanted all of you have chanted before okay, amazing so you can chant today's this thing individually okay you have chanted before Hare Krishna
Yeah,
okay
naturally.
naturally okay you
In
know
the
you have
sense that I haven't done it like in a
no but yeah individually you have
yeah.
chanted okay Gautam you have also chanted before okay very good so please do it individually so sorry for keeping you for too long. So please go for darshan prasadam. Hare Krishna. Srimad Bhagavad Gita ki, Sri Prabhupada ki.